From Warren Sapp splurging on $6,000 worth of sneakers to Antonio Walker helping 70 of his family members financially, these are some of the athletes who have gone bankrupt. Starting with the star who went bankrupt after owning $6,000 worth of Jordans. Warren Sapp, the legendary NFL defensive tackle, was an absolute beast when it came to sacking quarterbacks. Known as the sack master, he dominated the field for 13 glorious years, mostly rocking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey. Sapp's earnings throughout his football journey were nothing short of jaw-dropping. Brace yourself for this mind-boggling fact: he accumulated over a whopping $75 million in contracts alone. Now here's where things take an unexpected twist. Even after Sapp's playing days were over, the man was still rolling in the dough. Rumor has it that he was raking in a sweet $45,000 every single month as an NFL Network analyst. But wait a minute, how did this larger-than-life character end up filing for bankruptcy in 2012? The answer, my friend, lies in Sapp's huge appetite for extravagant purchases. Imagine stepping into Sapp's luxurious $4.1 million mansion only to find yourself surrounded by tons of weird items. I'm talking about a lion skin rug worth a cool $1,200, stacks of Jordan sneakers valued at a mind-boggling $6,000, and to top it all off, a pair of Muhammad Ali's actual boxing gloves. Unfortunately, when it came time to settle the debts, things didn't quite add up. As Sapp's assets were liquidated, it was discovered that their combined worth amounted to a mere $6.45 million. Now that may sound like a lot, but hold your horses. It fell short of the staggering $6.7 million he owed. Yikes. But he isn't the only player to go bankrupt because of their spending habits. Take George Best, for example. Let's jump into the thrilling story of a Manchester United star who knew how to spend big, even though his salary wasn't as huge as today's standards. He set the trend by slowly but surely wasting a fortune of around $100 million. He even confessed once that he spends a lot of money on booze, women, and fast cars, and then added that the rest he just squandered away. Wow, talk about honesty. Unfortunately, his health took a bad turn due to his excessive lifestyle, and he ended up needing a new liver. As his health got worse, so did his finances. Oh, and it seems he passed on his bad habits to his son as he filed for bankruptcy in 2013. Their jet-setting lifestyle was summed up by his son saying, "Let's say I made $5,000. I would spend that $5,000 on flying myself to LA and having a hotel room for 3 weeks. I wouldn't put it in the bank." So basically, they loved to live largely and didn't worry about saving money. But he isn't the only star to go bankrupt because of addiction issues. Tennis Rodman went through the same thing. This basketball legend achieved great success, clinching an impressive 5 NBA titles and pocketing a cool $27 million in earnings. You might also recognize him from his recent appearance in the popular 2020 Netflix docuseries called The Last Dance, which focused on Michael Jordan's final season with the Bulls. Rodman, affectionately nicknamed The Worm, was known for his generous nature during his NBA career. However, it wasn't his generosity that led to his financial downfall. In 2012, a serious drinking problem took its toll on him, resulting in court filings where he claimed he couldn't afford to pay child support. At that time, he owed his ex-wife a staggering sum of over $800,000 in back child support, and he had previously been ordered to pay her $50,000 each month. Jeez. But this wasn't half as bad as this next one. I mean, have you heard about the downfall of Vin Baker? This guy was a basketball star who had it all. NBA All-Star, Olympian, and yes, unfortunately, an addict. Now, here's where things get wild. During much of his career, Baker was hitting the court while completely hammered. He would lie to doctors and even fool himself just to keep his boozy lifestyle going. In a jaw-dropping interview with WBUR, he admitted to chugging Listerine before games to get a buzz without raising suspicion. But as they say, all good things must come to an end. So Baker's addiction took a heavy toll, eventually booting him out of the league and leaving him without a penny to his nearly $100 million fortune. How did it all go down? Well, according to Providence Journal, a combination of bad investments and a habit of trusting the wrong people left Baker bankrupt. To make matters worse, his house got foreclosed on, and he had to auction off his Olympic gold medal just to scrape by. Ouch. But this is where the story gets even more chaotic. Baker, with 4 kids and a whole lot of determination, knew he had to turn his life around. So after getting sober, he decided to reach out to an old boss, Howard Schultz, who's the former owner of the Supersonics basketball team. And guess what? Schultz happened to own a small coffee franchise called Starbucks. What are the odds, right? So he offered Baker a job, and well, the former basketball superstar ended up becoming a barista of all things. And just like him, young Vince also went through bankruptcy because of bad decisions. This college football sensation was widely recognized as one of the all-time greats, and he left a huge mark with his unforgettable performance in the 2006 Rose Bowl. People still rave about that game, considering it a true masterpiece of football. However, his professional career hit some bumps along the way. Despite winning Offensive Rookie of the Year and earning 2 Pro Bowl appearances, Young faced challenges in the Pro League. Reports of clashes with coaches and accusations of having a less-than-stellar attitude started to tarnish his reputation. Eventually, his last NFL game came in 2011, closing the chapter on his professional football journey. But that wasn't the end of the story. Young's personal life took a turbulent turn, making headlines for all the wrong reasons. A suicide scare and a DUI put him in the tabloids, overshadowing his once shining football career, and then came the financial troubles. In 2011, Young filed for bankruptcy, highlighting his struggle with money management. As Sports Illustrated revealed, he made puzzling financial decisions, like investing $600,000 in a restaurant owned by a famous actor he had never even heard of. And let's not forget the eye-popping $15,000 he splurged on a single meal at the Cheesecake Factory. That's a whole lot of Buffalo blasts. However, the story doesn't end on a sour note. In recent years, Young has managed to turn his life around. He found stability at his alma mater, the University of Texas, where he landed a job. And while his NFL dreams may have faded, his passion for football still burns bright. That said, he's not the only guy who went through hard times. Allen Iverson also had it pretty bad. This guy was a true powerhouse, even snagging the prestigious title of NBA MVP. And boy, did his bank account reflect his success. Iverson was raking in the big bucks as one of the highest-paid ballers on the planet. Just imagine, during his 2008-2009 season with the Detroit Pistons, he was cashing in just under $21 million. Cha-ching! But hold up, folks. When Iverson's wife, Tawana, decided to call it quits after 8 years of marriage in 2010, the financial truth came tumbling out of the closet. It turns out that Iverson was facing some serious money troubles. The poor guy was broke, buried under a mountain of debt, and his monthly expenses were sky high. Rumor has it that he even splurged on new clothes every time he flew somewhere to avoid lugging around bulky suitcases. Things got so rough that during a heated divorce proceeding in 2012, that Iverson dramatically reached into his pocket, empty-handed, and shouted at his wife, "I can't even afford a cheeseburger." Now wait a minute, because it's not all bad. This basketball superstar had a secret rainy day trust fund worth about $30 million, courtesy of Reebok. But the sad thing is that he can't even touch that moolah until the year 2030. Here's the real kicker though. Iverson had a pretty strange method of handling his money. Since he didn't trust banks one bit, he thought it was clever to stash all his cash in multiple garbage bags scattered throughout his house. Yep, you heard it right. Garbage bags. That's where his hard-earned dollars found their temporary home. But unlike many others, Antoine Walker learned from his mistakes. The former NBA All-Star earned over $108 million during his career. His extravagant spending habits, however, led to serious financial trouble. Like, the dude never even wore the same suit twice. Not to mention, he also financially supported 70 friends and family members, so anyone could have seen this one coming. I mean, he even wrote over $1 million in bad checks to Las Vegas casinos, and of course eventually filed for bankruptcy in 2010. But fast forward 2.5 years, and he's turned his life around in a major way. Nowadays, Antoine is all about sharing his wisdom and helping others dodge the financial pitfalls he once faced. In fact, he's even got a job as a consultant, where he drops knowledge bombs and makes sure that other ballers keep their pockets lined with green. So, from Antoine Walker helping 70 of his family members financially to Warren Sapp splurging on $6,000 worth of sneakers, those were some of the athletes who had gone bankrupt.